Hi, I'm Jim Ward, author, and here with Joanna Cameron, and we are in the midst of doing some work on her new film, and so I'm here to talk about the Kogies.
The subject is intuition. Yes.
And the Kogies were first introduced in just a couple of decades, 3 or 4 decades ago. Europeans came to interview them. They finally granted an interview. They had been pretty much isolated on their own mountain after the Spanish had chased them off. And when they got to them, they did an interview, and Bernardo, who could speak Spanish, had learned Spanish, and they asked them about why they have their philosophy, and it was a case where they said they had done homework, and the Kogi natives resembled in philosophy and theory the Aborigines of Australia, and the journalist mentioned it to him and said, of course you don't know the Aborigines from Australia because you haven't been there and you haven't traveled there, and there's no way to communicate with them. And Bernardo seemed surprised and answered the journalist, oh yes, we know of the Aborigines. We channel with them every night, and we know where they are. And he was excited. The journalist asked for the globe. The globe came in. Show us where the Aborigines are, and Bernardo pointed on the globe, Australia. So there are stuff out there that we don't know, and this was an ancient custom with all tribes on the planet channeling, and I think they were a lot better at it than we are today.
Did the Druids in Britain, did they channel in the UK?
The Druids in Britain were motivated by food, and that's why they built the monuments. It was to keep track of planting season, harvest season, the planting moon, the harvest moon, and other things. And it may have looked like religious ceremonies, but in fact these were ceremonies celebrating food and harvest and weddings and children and that kind of thing. So
just like we have today.
and the Druids worked hard, and they deforested much of Britain and rolled those monument stones down the river on the logs and set them up. So, quite exciting.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks. So channeling then, I would call the reason the Aboriginals could talk with the Kogies, I might call that vibrational alignment. In other words, they were on the same vibrational plane. In other words, their intuition was way open, that they could talk to each other in this way. So the question is then, have we lost these skills? How can we remember them, and how can they help us to create a better world?
Well, there was a nice lesson with this. Just a few years ago, the Kogies decided that they must go to England to meet, and because they have a message, and their message is that the planet is in trouble. Mother Earth is in trouble with the environment. And so they got on a jet plane. They flew to Britain, and when they landed, they were very disappointed. They had actually come looking for Joanna Cameron. So,
well, she's now called Orla.
And she's now called Orla.
And she stars in your books, doesn't she?
Yes. And
thanks, Jim.
Orla is the heroine throughout the books, and she's the one that saves the oceans.
From the plastic.
From the plastic.
All right.
And other things.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
All right. Thank you.